Hey everybody, welcome back to the Scentaur Fragrance Channel. Thank you so much for stopping by today. My name is Benjamin, and I do review fragrances, colognes, perfumes, and all things scent related for y'all. I'd love to help y'all find the best fragrances, save some money, have some fun, and of course, be smelling great out there. So today, let's jump into this part 2 of this haul video. This is a giant haul. This is the part 2, so if you haven't seen part 1, I encourage you to check out that one and come back to this video. I did make a earlier kind of introduction to my haul, but we got a lot really chatty, and all of us kind of caught up with each other. So I didn't get to share everything. And today is, I have so many things to share with y'all. It's crazy. So let's first start with Sensual Obsessions. If y'all haven't heard about this brand, they're making a little bit of waves in the fragrance community, especially with the smaller fragrance reviewers, because they're willing to work with the smaller fragrance reviewers and send them some fragrances for review, which is very generous. I got sent not a whole lot. I haven't asked for too much from them, and I don't think a lot of people ask. I think he's just really generous. But Sensual Obsessions does produce some decent fragrances for really affordable prices. This one here is a Aventus balanced. They, just like a lot of these brands, they make a smokier batch and a fruitier batch. This one's somewhere in between. I think these fragrances do get a little bit better if you do give them some time to mature. A lot of the time they do come really fresh, and they can smell a little bit not too natural, and they just need a little bit of age on them. One of the ones I love from the brand is Lime in the Sky. This isn't the best season for it. Of course, if you want a happy, bright, citrusy fragrance, Lime in the Sky is going to do you right. And trust me, when spring and summer rolls around, I'll be talking about this beauty. Lime in the Sky, for the money, is one of the best citrus fragrances I think I've ever tried. And for the money, it's a very happy, cheerful citrus lime fragrance. It has this airy quality about it as well, because it's called, Lime in the Sky. So it's got that cloudy quality, and it just smells fantastic. I think if Tom Ford or some other brand came out with a fragrance like this, with this kind of scent DNA, and maybe they up the quality, they could put something like this in their private collection, and people would buy it, and people would be very happy. This thing actually doesn't have bad performance for what it is. So Lime in the Sky is definitely recommended with Tuxedo and Andy Warhol from this brand. Here's Tuxedo. It smells beautiful. To me, it smells almost like a woody, almost one of those tobacco fragrances. Not a lot of sweet. There is some sweetness, but it doesn't smell honey to me. It smells, again, like a little bit of tobacco, a little bit of this classic. It almost has that chocolatey patchouli vibe to it, but it smells blended, or the notes aren't too easy to pick out. It is more on the classy side of things. But Tuxedo is a pretty good fragrance, and for how affordable these are, it doesn't smell like a $20, $30 fragrance. This fragrance smells a lot better than that. So I do think Tuxedo is a good one. I have Aventus Smoky here. I think he knew my taste when he sent me a few things, and I talked to him a little bit. Aventus Smoky is a pretty linear, a pretty simple kind of variation of Aventus, but I do think that the smoke is appropriate. It's enough smoke to give it some character, but it's not too much smoke in that it feels or smells off-putting or daring, or it might, it's not going to smell like somebody might think you walked out of a campfire, or it's not going to be offensive. So I do like the level of smoke in Aventus Smoky, and I do like this smell. I don't know of very many clones that really capture that smoky vibe, besides Club de Nuit Intense, man. And for me, that smoke has almost some sharpness. This smoke in this one is more of kind of like a simple, kind of like a laid back, natural smoke. So Aventus Smoky, if you like the smoky batches. If you don't want to pay crazy prices for, smoky batches, older batches of Aventus, I mean, that can get you by if you just want to wear it casually. When people buy those expensive batches of Aventus for $1,000 or $2,000 in some cases, for those special batches of Aventus, I don't know if they wear it or when they wear it, because for me personally, financially, and just with how I feel about things, I don't want to be walking down the street wearing a $2,000 fragrance that's not going to be particularly mass appealing and particularly unique in a way. It is going to smell great for me personally, but for the price, I mean, you can get that one for $30, $40 for a full-size bottle. So the next one's Andy Warhol. Y'all know about this one. Everybody's been talking about it. This one's the beautiful plum with a chocolatey vibe underneath. If you haven't had gotten your nose on this one, it's gonna smell gorgeous. If you like things like Plum Japonais by Tom Ford, if you like plum fragrances like Lacoste Pour Homme Gray, that bottle I have. This one's going to do you right. It actually has pretty good performance, or pretty decent performance for such an affordable fragrance. This one's appropriate for date night. This one has a little bit of a classy vibe to it. So Andy Warhol is definitely worth a recommendation from Sensual Obsessions. I can't recommend everything from them. I did try an oud from them, and the quality of it was not for me. But overall, there are some pretty good fragrances, and he's always improving. If you don't like something, I think he's willing to work with you. He's always going to do you right. So that's Sensual Obsessions. The next, the next little batch here is from the Distillery series. I did a video introducing these guys. If you haven't heard about them and saw them, you can get a travel set of these minis, all 4 of their fragrances, if I can even share all of them at once, for about, I think, 10 or 15 bucks. You can get the full-size bottles for like 10 bucks a piece if you are able to find them at your local Walmart. I actually went to Walmart.com, tried to find them, and contacted their customer service. And these fragrances, for some reason, aren't really in their system. So I didn't really create a lot of talk about these, a lot of hype around them, because I didn't want to talk about a fragrance that you might not be able to find or get. I had to trade for these fragrances with a great guy in the fragrance community called Ian Wren, a really good guy. Again, check out my video if you haven't seen me talk about these. I do think that they're nice. I do think that New York Rye is probably the best of the bunch overall. It's funny how different brands try to capture a little bit of that vintage vibe and that feel. And a New York Rye actually is a pretty decent little fragrance for that kind of thing. So check out the brand if you're on a tight budget, or if you want something that you can, spray on 10 sprays and not have to worry about it choking anybody out. The performance isn't great with those, but it's not bad, so check them out. The next fragrances I wanted to introduce was, I think I might have mentioned these a little bit earlier, but I really haven't gotten to talk about them too much. This is 2 musk fragrances from the house of, I think it's Sabili. Yeah, the Sabili collection. This one is Sultan Musk, and this one is Silver Musk Silver Wild. Now, the first one to me smells like a classic aromatic fragrance. It smells a little bit on the powdery side, a little bit on the neroli side, perhaps. It's clean, but it's kind of aromatic. It definitely smells classy. I love to use these musks to layer underneath fragrances because they're not too complex. I don't like to spray 2 fragrances to layer if I do want to layer. I think it's Ava. She's a fantastic reviewer as well. She talks about this as well, where you spray perhaps your stronger fragrance and maybe put your oil on top of it, or vice versa if you want to do that. But really nice for layering. You get better performance out of a fragrance. You can make your fragrances a little bit unique and tailor them to your taste. The next one is the Musk Silver Wild. To me smells, it does have a little bit of a synthetic quality to it, but that partly comes because it has a mineral quality to this. This does have a little bit of a metallic vibe. It is kind of sweet and kind of fruity in an interesting, odd way. So this one is unisex. Ladies, if you have wanted, maybe you like Silver Mountain Water by Creed. and you've always wanted something maybe you would feel more comfortable with. If you want something soapy and fruity and musky, and it has a little bit of a metallic edge, I do recommend this to you. These musk fragrances they have are very affordable. A lot of their, of course, oils are decently priced. They try to make them affordable, but of course they're oud and they're very expensive. But these musks, you can get one of their full-size ones like this, like I just showed you, for around the $20 mark. So they're not bad at all for what they are. So let's jump into the next one. Guys and gals, we got to talk about Fragranza. Now, I've introduced this brand a bit. They've been really generous to send me some fragrances in the past. Fragranza has some good fragrances, and they are pretty good value for money. They really focus on performance, so if you're a person who really cares about performance, check out Fragranza. This one's Wild Palnero. This one is kind of a dark, fruity fragrance. It has that plum and that pear vibe. It's intoxicating. This stuff is a very good performer. It smells, to me, a little bit boozy underneath it all. It's perfect for like a laid back, like kind of like a cocktail party. This fragrance is very playful, very smooth, almost on the sultry edge of things. Again, it just smells like a fruit salad made out of dark fruits with like blackberries and plum and pear. And I think it's a very nice fragrance. It performs very well. It almost has that Tom Ford-esque quality to it and that smell to it. So, lady, I think this is perfectly unisex, of course. But I think ladies out there, if you've been wanting a deeper, darker, more sultry, fruity fragrance, if you don't want a, a happy pink fruity floral, if you want something that's a little bit more refined, a little bit more ladylike, a little bit more seductive, I think that Wild Palnero is certainly a good suggestion, and the performance is very, respectable on that fragrance. The next one, I think I have mentioned this one here and there. I think I might have done a review on my Instagram of this one already, and this one deserves a little bit of talk. This is Oriental Diamond from Fragranza. Now, this is another one that's going to become a gift for my mom, but this one is gorgeous. It smells a little bit like a female version of what a Reflection Man would be, or Prada El Homme. It smells crisp and clean. It smells a little bit sparkly. It can smell, again, of course, with the name, like diamonds or crystals. But so it has almost that vodka-esque type feel, but it's very clean. I think this is very professional. It's going to have you smelling very clean and pristine, but it has a classy edge. Some very simple fragrances that are clean kind of smell mellow, or they can just smell kind of basic. This one smells classy. There's a lot of good quality to this one, and I think it puts up a good fight to Reflection Woman by Amouage for some of the best classy, maybe wedding fragrances out there. So if you want something clean and pristine, sparkling, and a beautiful fragrance on the classy side, Oriental Diamond is recommended. And I think it's a very good fragrance. This actually has wow factor to it. So a really good fragrance. Again, something a little bit beyond just an average clean fragrance when you want to go out and about and smell professional. So those are mostly the fragrances I wanted to share with y'all. I have a whole bunch of Posey samples and fragrances I'm going to share with y'all. I have a bunch of samples, carded samples and things I've never shared with y'all in the past. I'm going to have to just introduce to y'all slowly over time. Of course, we're getting into incense, and with my special new my videos introducing, kind of like, the Discovery Channel, talking about fragrances and the origin of fragrances. I'm going to be making more of those videos for y'all. I'm trying to think of the word documentary. That's the word. I was trying to think of it for y'all. I'm going to do more about incense. I'm going to do more of those. I know some of y'all really like those videos, and I'm going to keep those up for y'all. I did buy a Discovery set. I wanted to let y'all know. I have some incenses and some fantastic quality incense, but I wanted to buy a variety pack, and I did. This is from Soul Niche. Again, I'm not sponsored by any of these brands. None of them give me anything for free. Soul Niche has no idea who I am. But you can get these fantastic. You get about 10 of them. I think this is a limited sale. These weren't on their website on eBay a while back, but you can get about 10 of these. I think they're half ouncers for about 15 bucks. So it's a great variety pack. It's the best value I've ever seen. And the quality of these, most of these come from Three Kings. And as far as I know, Three Kings is kind of the gold standard when you're buying resins, you know, myrrh, frankincense, and all the fantastic other resins that are out there. So I really like this brand. I really like the quality. We're going to have a lot of fun sharing and talking about all kinds of different resins. You know, I love myrrh. Here's myrrh high grade. I want y'all to see the color of that myrrh. That's just not average myrrh. You don't find that anywhere, and you're not going to find that easily. This stuff is darker, and it's special, so very happy to have this. Very happy to share it with you. Quality to this. So if you're a lady out there and you if smelled pure malt on your man, or maybe you like that whiskey boozy smell and you've wanted something for yourself, this one is gorgeous. I think that this one would please you very much. This one makes me, for some reason, think of the name Donna. So it's a very well composed fragrance. But it's a confident lady fragrance. But again, it's sweet. Has a little bit of a dark leathery side to it, but not too much. It's still playful, and I really do like the ambrette in this fragrance. I'm a sucker for ambrette, and it's just so well done. Corrigan by Lubin is gorgeous. So we got to talk about some more fragrances. We have so much to talk about. It's crazy. I can't even stop. The next one is Black Hashish by Art Olfato. Here, this one, if you know what hashish is, I don't know if I can say it, but on YouTube at least. But it smells like tobacco, but it's a cousin to that. It smells gorgeous, kind of wet, sultry, dark, mysterious. It is a gorgeous fragrance, and I highly recommend it if you've been looking for an interesting fragrance with a little bit of, you know, that nuance of that ingredient that people might use. And it's just so well composed. It's a little bit simplistic perhaps, but I do think that it's very well done. I do think that it smells very interesting and very dark and alluring. But it's not for everybody. It does have a little bit almost of the dry, spicy quality that comes with hashish. But check this out. It's a gorgeous fragrance. Very well done. We got to talk about some more. Let's see here. Okay, Montal Black Oud. This fragrance. Gorgeous, very Black Oud Intense is a gorgeous, intense fragrance. I shared it on my Halloween video. If you want something that has a patchouli quality mixed with oud in a very modern way, that's as a strong performer, very strong performer, and has this interesting, piercing, smoky quality, this is for you. I actually wore, I think it was only, I only had like maybe two sprays, 1.5 sprays of this on from this decant, just from this decant. And somebody asked me if there was, you know, a house burning or was something on fire, because this fragrance smells very smoky and it's very intense. And you got to be careful with Montal fragrances. They can sneak up on you, and you might just be off-putting. Let's talk about some more from Dior Prestige. Again, a very generous company. They sell niche fragrances, and they're very nice to work with. I like them and Twisted Lily, and there's Crystal perfumes. There's just so many out there. Dior Prestige sent me the Chronic, which I'd been wanting to try for a very long time. Very beautiful fragrance. It smells to me somewhat like CH Man by Carolina Herrera. So it's not the most original fragrance to my nose, because I do think that it does have a little bit of that similar resinous brown sugar quality to it. But it's a very nice fragrance. It's very playful. It has a really nice hay quality to it. And I do like hay in fragrances when they're used right. I think it's a nice fragrance. The sugary quality of this doesn't appeal to me as much personally. I do want a little bit more of an edge of a fragrance. And maybe EJ out there, maybe you can tell me that I got this one right. I got Blue Fire right by being partly inspired by Baccarat Rouge 540. Let me know. Was Rhyolite inspired by this one? You know, the Chronic by Byron? Let me know, because I think that there's some similarities here. And the Chronic was getting a little bit of hype. It was getting some love a little while ago. Very nice fragrance, though. It just doesn't suit me personally. Check it out if that's something that sounds interesting to you. I don't think you would be disappointed with it. Let's see here. The next one is Mula Mula. Now, this one is a little bit more versatile. It smells a little bit sparkling. It has a little bit of a boozy quality. It's very interesting. It's really hard to pin what kind of citrus or fruit is going on with this one. It almost smells like star fruit in a way. Very nice fragrance, very playful and versatile. Very interesting, more of a citrus fragrance. But Mula Mula is very well composed and dries down to, I get a little bit of an interesting vanilla quality to this. And of course, they use resins very well. Byron does. And they have like a mellow, dry down, kind of like a casual, cool cat kind of vibe. So very nice fragrances, very nice creations. I have some more Lucky Scent decants here I can share with y'all. I shared this one a little while ago, but this is a Floris Santal. And ladies, if you've been looking for a gorgeous amber fragrance that's a little bit more on the gourmand side, just a tiny bit, something that's classic and a little bit leathery. Gorgeous amber fragrance, very well composed by the House of Floris. Floris fragrances are very well blended and very smooth. They don't smell overtly complex, but they do have complexity to them. I really do like the House of Floris, and that Santal fragrance is gorgeous. Another one is Safiro. Now, if you haven't tried Safiro and you're a lady out there, and if you smell things like Polo Red, this has a little bit of that red berry vibe to my nose, but this stuff is gorgeous. It's sparkling. There's a beautiful citrusy quality to this. It's very citrusy. This one smells very Italian. This one's perfectly unisex, though. I think it was Redolescence. He loves this fragrance, and I do think that Safiro is very well done by the House of Floris. You got to check this fragrance out. If you like citrus, if you like playful fragrances, if you like a little bit of sweetness, it's not overtly sweet, but Safiro definitely has almost like a sports car vibe. It has an energy about it and a very gorgeous citrus fragrance. Check it out. Safiro, very well done fragrance. Let's talk about some more fragrances I have here. I bought this bottle. I wanted to test it, and I was kind of undecided if I wanted it either for myself or to make it as a gift. So either way, I knew that I was wanting to get this fragrance if I wanted to keep it or give it away. But this is none other than In the Navy by Jean Paul Gaultier. The first Jean Paul Gaultier that I've ever bought. The first one that I've ever had. This one has a little bit more of a deep, dark blue nature to it. It definitely has a little bit of that blue DNA. It doesn't smell like shampoo, though. But there's some mint to this fragrance. And this fragrance almost is like a dark or more intense version of the Eau Fraiche, the Superman edition, the Popeye edition. This one has a little bit more of that blue vibe and has a little bit of that mint. So very good fragrance. I think it's very well done and very mass appealing, but it's not going to be for everybody. Jean Paul Gaultier fragrances have this interesting, minty, almost herbal play with vanilla in the dry down. For some guys out there, it's not the easiest thing to wear. It's not for them. I have a hard time with it myself, but sometimes I do like this fragrance. Sometimes it just pulls me in. I really do like mint, And this fragrance is a happy fragrance, but it does have a little bit of a universal appeal to it. So again, not the most interesting fragrance, not the most unique fragrance, but a mass appealing one. This one is starting to hit discounters, and I think is a very good mass appealing aquatic kind of fragrance with a little bit of something different about it. It's not just a plain Jane aquatic. There's mint in this fragrance. There's an interesting salt to this fragrance, aquatic nature. That's just, I think it's well done. I do think that. But it's not going to be the most interesting thing if you're a niche head or really deep into fragrances. But again, I mess with all fragrances. I mess with designer, cheapies, indie, niche. I mess with a little bit of everything. So check that one out if it sounds interesting to you. You know, Jean Paul Gaultier's In the Navy is a fantastic fragrance, I think at least. Let's talk about a few more fragrances. I have a few more decants that I glossed over. I have so much to share, but I can't talk about everything. They were generous. Another company that was generous enough to send me some samples was none other than, I'm trying to remember their name. It's Geisha. I almost said Kimono. Geisha Fragrances was generous enough to send me some of these little decants or daubers. I'm really impressed with the feel of these fragrances. They have to have a soft, almost sandalwood, patchouli type of DNA in a lot of the fragrances. I especially think that their Rouge is a really nice, almost like a red leather fragrance. And I really do think that the Noir is a gorgeous, almost like a soapy black amber fragrance, almost like a black musk fragrance. That's so well done. I usually am scared away from powdery fragrances, but they met with Noir. That's on my buy list. Gorgeous, amazing creation, and I was smitten by it. But that's just something that really stood out to me. Another kind of add-on I got for free when I got into you know, the special sale at Fragrance by CA was this one here. I can't say the brand, but another one but that I can't say the name of or really share, but it's Paris. You can imagine by, you know, Michel Germain. You can Google it and look up Paris and it'll pop up. But a very nice fragrance. It's not the most unique though. It has a little bit of that sharp patchouli floral type DNA to it. But this is an oil, so it's not as obnoxious or as loud. I do think it's a nice fragrance though. I do think it's easy to wear enough, and on the skin it becomes a little bit more musky. Smelling it just like this or from the atomizer, it does smell a little bit sour. I don't know why, but a nice fragrance. And of course that one's going to be a gift for my mom as well. Okay, so let's talk about a few other fragrances. The House of Maison Sol was generous enough to send me a very new brand. They recently released, I believe. They were generous enough to send me 3 decants of their fragrances as well. Their fragrances are focused on orange and oud. They're very well done. If you like orange and oud in a fragrance, all their fragrances are very similar in the note, in the DNA and the smell, but they just have different levels of oud and different levels of sweetness. I think the S is perhaps the most oudy, and then the O is kind of a blend in the middle. It's a little bit sweet and a little bit oudy, but it has a nice blend to it. And L, I think, is the sweetest of them all. It's the most mass appealing and easiest to wear. Very high quality fragrances, but I talked to them about their price, and to me, I think they might be charging a little much, but because they are very nice and they are very well done, but you're mostly just getting orange and oud. It's very well blended, but for a fragrance that just smells like orange and oud, and it's kind of happy for an oud fragrance, and it's pretty wearable for an oud fragrance, but for what they're charging, $200 plus, I don't know about this, you know, recommending this. But very nice fragrances, very happy to try them. I really do like, you know, the O. I hope that I can buy the O one day, but I just think their prices are a bit much. Um, I have tons of samples I got from, you know, MorePosy. So shout out to them, their generosity and how nice they are. And I bought some myself in the past, so I have a huge pile of them. Another brand that I need to talk about and share with y'all today is House of Matriarch. If you don't know about House of Matriarch, I encourage y'all to get out there. They just had one of their special sales, and I shared it on my Instagram. And I think I might have been one of the reasons why the sale was ended, because I think a lot of people jumped on the sale. But I can't share the actual name of this fragrance because, you know, YouTube doesn't want that. For some reason, I shared it last night and it got flagged. But this fragrance is magic. You can go to House of Matriarch or just Google House of Matriarch Magic, and you'll know what I'm talking about. This is an enticing fragrance. It's oudi. It has beautiful cedar. Very well composed fragrance. It's mostly natural. The brand is focused on, you know, the mystic, connecting with nature and art and the things perhaps that are beyond our sight. So House of Matriarch had an unbelievable sale. Sometimes they have scratch and dent sales as well. And I got this for an amazing discount for the value and the quality of this fragrance. But it did not come cheap. And I had to save for this fragrance, and I had been wanting to buy this for years. So I'm very happy to have this in my collection. I'm very happy that I have this in my possession. This is a dream come true, this bottle of House of Matriarch here. And Christy Michelle, she creates beautiful fragrances. If you want all natural fragrances, if you want really high-end niche that's worth the money, guys, if you know about Creed, you know, I would encourage you, instead of looking towards Creed, look to something like House of Matriarch and get you something that's artistic, well crafted, natural, something that's beautiful quality, and something that is going to be unforgettable, because House of Matriarch makes unbelievably beautiful fragrances for what they're doing. So guys and gals, I think I want to wrap this up. I have even more fragrances that I could share with you, but this has been my haul. This has come together in a couple months' time. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I'm experimenting on my channel with doing short videos, 4-minute videos, and today I have a video that's almost a whole hour long. I hope that you've enjoyed this video and this content. I got some amazing fragrances, some joys. Very happy to have these in my collection. Very proud to have them in my collection. And I can't believe that I got Rhyolite, which is something I've always been wanting, a caramel smoky fragrance. Gorgeous, and I'm very happy to have it in my collection. I love it. And Amber Del Sur, I've been wanting to get myself a beautiful amber for so long. That's wearable and interesting and has enough confidence behind it and enough performance behind it. I love it. I've been wanting to get that 24 gold for so long, and then with the oud, oh, it's gorgeous, and it's wearable, and it's really appealing to the ladies too. So gorgeous fragrances, gorgeous, gorgeous. And I hope that you've liked this list. I've introduced and shared indie, designer, just about everything in between. You know, a cheapie with the Paris fragrance from Michel Germain. That's a cheapie. But I hope that you've liked this list. I hope that you've enjoyed this content. Please like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, share the video, and let me know if you like this content. I have a lot of fragrances I've shared today, and an awful lot more that I have to share. So it's hard to keep up with all of this. Let me know what fragrances sounded best to you, what fragrances you bought recently, what fragrances you're looking towards to buying. Some people have really wanted me to make a wish list. So I got to make a wish list for y'all, but I don't want to seem like I'm begging. I'm not begging for fragrances, even though I have to save. It's not easy to afford all of this. But I'll see y'all next time. This has been the Scentatar Fragrance Channel. You know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, share the video, tell a friend. Let me know if this is a video that y'all like, if this is something you're interested in. I hope that when I do these videos and I share my passion like this, that I hope that my passion is very clear, um, because an average person out there, can't fake something like this. I'm not faking this. This is me going on, talking about fragrances for like a whole hour. That's crazy. So, hope that you enjoy my passion. I hope that you're crazy about fragrances too. And I'll see you all next time. This has been the Scentaur Fragrance Channel. Wear what you love. Let me know what you've bought recently, what you love. And I'll see you all next time. This is, again, the Scentaur Fragrance Channel. Hope that you like my channel. And I'll see you next time. And bye. This is the part 2 of this big fragrance collection. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that you'll like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you like this content. And, of course, wear what you love. Don't feel like you're pressured to buy more fragrances. Feel comfortable with where you're at and wear what you love in your collection. Trust me, I buy a lot of things and I sell a lot of things. And sometimes I give away fragrances because I just have too much in my collection. And I personally don't want more than 100 bottles. I know some people are collectors, and a shout out to you. I respect you, but that's not me. I hope that y'all never feel like I'm intimidating or, that I'm not relatable to you, I guess I could say. I find deals, I buy sales. I rarely ever buy anything retail. Anyways, hope that y'all enjoyed this video. I hope that you enjoyed my content. I'll see y'all next time. This has been the Scentaur Fragrance Channel. Have a good one. Have a fantastic week. I'll see y'all on the next episode, and I hope that you're safe. Wear what you love, and I'll see you next time, my friends, and bye.